You know, they didn't have very much money,
You're kidding.
but we had a lot of trips, you know.
Always thought we had lots of money.
You
Always
did?
thought we had lots of money. Didn't they tease you about the old moldy money you had?
Uh,
Didn't they tease you at Cummins about that old moldy money you had?
yeah.
You know what I said?
Oh, what?
Moldy.
Moldy money.
Moldy
Who
money.
teased me? Who was it that kidded?
The people, the men at Cummins
Okay.
teased you about having old, moldy money.
Well, a lot of people thought we were rich because of the way we were, places we went, you know, and everything. But we didn't overspend. We just spent what we had to get by. And it made it real good, I thought.
Well, why don't y'all talk about when you got married?
What about it?
About when you got married.
How much money did you have?
Well, you had to borrow money to pay the preacher. I remember that part.
Borrowed money to get married from James and Agatha.
Right. Money to pay the preacher.
And we lived,
And how much was that you had to borrow?
What'd you borrow? $10?
it seemed like five. I really don't know.
It's either 5 or 10.
$5 or $10.
Yeah.
We lived with our folks, my folks.
Mhm.
We got married in July, and we lived with them till we got.
4.5 months.
How long? Till
I remember 4.5 months.
till we got our crop in, you know, and bought some furniture, and moved out to ourselves.
Y'all moved to another little house there on the Evergreen?
Yeah. 3-room shotgun house.
Yeah. But now talk about the day you got married.
Okay, I'll tell about my part. I knew he was going to come after me sometime that morning, and I was really having second thoughts. I thought, because I planned if I got married to stay married, and I thought, well, now am I sure he's the man I want to spend the rest of my life with? And come to find out later on, we were talking about it, he had second thoughts too. Anyway, he came and got me and took me to his house where Juanita and her kids were. 6 kids. And his mother and Ernest and Meredith had come up to Arkansas to visit relatives. So Juanita was there all day cleaning the house. And of course, she cleaned one place and those kids would go to another place to clean and the kids would mess up that. That woman just worked and worked. Anyway, from there we went to Imogene and Ralph's house in St. Joe. And we stayed there for a while. James and Talitha and Lonnie and I went. And then we all went
How'd you get there?
probably in James' car,
Okay.
Talitha's car. I don't remember that part, but we didn't have anything but a pickup, so I'm sure it was their car. And we had to wait till Ralph got off work, and then we went to the church there in St. Joe, and I had told Lonnie if he mispronounced my name, I was going to correct him. I told you if the preacher said my name wrong, I was going to tell him about it. So sure enough, he did, and I got tickled.
He call you Agatha?
Yeah, he called me Agatha, so I got tickled. And I was trying to you know, I didn't want to giggle right there in the middle of it, but we looked at each other and remembered what I had said.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we went to a restaurant for supper, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And that was real rare for us. Then we went out on Lake Bruin to a place where where they were dancing. And we stayed there and danced. You remember going to the dance?
No, I don't remember that.
Well, we did. It's out on Lake Bruin. Out from St. Joe.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just remember us going eating supper, you know, and then I thought we were going on home.
no, we went out there and danced for a little bit.
Okay.
Then we went to your house.
Okay.
And we were there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before
Yeah.
they came back.
I remember Ralph and I was in going to the wedding.
Well, they did. We went from their house. We went to their house in St. Joe.
Yeah.
And then they went with us.
Okay. I
And
thought it was just James and John. There's only 2 people at our wedding.
no, I and Jean and Ralph were there.
But that was it, huh?
That's it.
Yep. And when did you tell your mother and daddy?
I think I wrote to them from LSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd they think?
Well, I don't know what they thought.
They never say anything to you?
Not really. They said something. I don't remember what it was now. But it's a good thing. I mean, I might as well have stopped them because Drexel was paying for me to go. He was paying my for me to stay in the dorm. And then he'd send me so much every month for food, to feed me. Anyway, he got out of the service right after we got married. And then it wasn't, well, I guess it was about a year later that he got married himself. But he wasn't, he didn't have the income like when he was in service and didn't have any expenses. And after he and Dot married, he was going to college and working at the same time. He sure wouldn't have had the money for me. Barely had enough for them.
Yeah.
They were rich like Lonnie and I were rich.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Drexel made good money all the time.
Huh?
The Drexel made real good money. He didn't.
Not when he first started. Daddy sold a calf to get money to give Drexel. When Larry was so sick, you remember their first baby?
Yeah.
You remember how sick he was and he died?
Yeah.
Well, when he was real sick, and I guess Drexel probably had to have missed work. Like I said, Daddy sold a calf to give the money to Drexel, pay his bills with. They had a rough time. He had to start
Now, where were they living then?
Baton Rouge.
Okay.
See, he even though he had his degree in electrical engineering, he started as a lineman at the bottom
Yeah.
of the utility company's ladder. and had to learn everything from the bottom up.
Yeah.
So in a few years he was making plenty of money and made a lot, you know,
Yeah.
as he advanced up the company. But at first he didn't.
Well, great. After 4 o'clock,
You ready to go home?
I reckon so.